Next question comes from Frankie Limon Quamfi. What's the break-even point in terms of users and volume? This question has come up several times in the Telegram channel. It's come up in previous AMAs, and I have avoided the question every time. Partially because it's confidential. I put the question to our CFO, and the answer I got back, I'm going to read it to you because it's funny, because I have avoided this question. I've given you guys hints, and I'll elaborate more and give you more detail, but I just want you to see how close to my previous answers his answer was. The exact answer to this question is sensitive commercial information that we choose to keep quiet on. However, we can say that we have relatively low overheads, which mean that we expect our break-even point to be reached within our first year post-launch. That's like exactly what I said in the last time I was asked that question. His final comment: when we reach this goal, we then have greater ability to allocate more resources to our global marketing campaign. So it's important to understand a couple of things about VersoView, the team, and the platform. The team, myself included, but not just me. We have a team of, our senior leadership team is packed with people, not just with like a fancy title. It's packed with people who have delivered not just a business. I remember the first time I created a successful business. I built up a business that did 7 figures in revenue, and I had no friggin' clue what I was doing. And it literally like nuked it almost instantly. Building something is pretty easy, actually, when you're excited about a new idea, and all growth is the only thing that matters. And so you literally spend and you work and you grind to grow, right? Just get the revenue up, get the clients up, get the marketing up, get the products out, it's just this like full on sprint, and it's super exciting and it's super engaging. And it's like, you check your bank balance and it's up, and you check your like revenue numbers and they're up, and you check your user numbers and they're up, and you check like everything's going your way. And then you hit the goal, right? You're there, you did it, you launch, you're out. And then it's like, well, shit, what do I do now? And the critical failure of almost every C-level or entrepreneur, executive, whatever, is the disconnect between the ability to build a company or a brand and the ability to run a company or brand. And that is a huge distinction. Building is easy. Running is hard. It's boring. It's a grind. It's perpetually repeating the same tedious activities over and over and over again without fail. And most entrepreneurs, most builders can't do it. And I'm not that much different, right? So, I mean, I in the beginning, the first time I did it, I built, like I said, a 7-figure revenue company, and I nuked it like pretty quick. I think we made it a year and a few months before the revenue started plummeting. The users started wanting the products. You have to constantly keep doing. You're running on a treadmill, and it's managing expenses, because in a growth phase, you just spend. You buy new clients, you buy growth, you buy new product, you're developing, you're doing whatever. But then there comes a point where you have to be profitable. You have to transition from spend to grow to cash flow, be profitable. And that transition is very, very, very challenging for most businesses. Most businesses fail, ultimately. When you start looking at blockchain and cryptocurrency companies, that disconnect is almost an impossibly bigger problem. And why you see so many failed blockchain companies is because traditionally, now we didn't do a big raise. As you guys know, we didn't do a big venture capital raise. We haven't been sitting on war chests of $7 or $10 or $20 million. But most companies do. They start out, executives with almost no leadership experience, no tested experience, have millions and millions of dollars, which means you can almost not make, you just can't make a mistake. because you can just buy your way out of anything. You buy marketing, you pay people, you hire people, you build product, you develop, you just keep throwing more and more and more money at stuff. But eventually the money runs out. Then what happens? So having a leadership team at VersoView of not just one person who's built a company and blown it up, and then built another company and made it successful, and then built another, I've built multiple. Having a leadership team of people who have done it over and over again consistently, and then who have run, Agency Fish has been running successfully at an extraordinarily high level for decades. The amount of consistency that requires is unparalleled. It's a trait that most people simply do not have. And so VersoView is created with this foundation in mind. And so what we understood from day one, especially making the decision to forego millions of dollars in the early VC raises we could have done, when we foregoed that opportunity, when we decided to just launch, put the token out there, and then bootstrap, we made a decision to manage costs and budget to such a careful degree, that we set ourselves up where failure is almost not an option, because our break-evens are so low. And when I say so low, they're very low. Our overhead is I'm sitting in my house right now. This is my office. This is the United States headquarters of VersoView is right here. So we're not opening offices all over the world with like all these different people and all these different expenses. Anytime I see a crypto company that has like 10 offices worldwide and they all look like the Taj Mahal, I start to worry, because that money is coming from somewhere. And when the gravy train runs out and the next bear market hits, that overhead for those have to come from somewhere. So we have one corporate office in Australia, and then we have many satellite offices in our executive leadership's homes. And we're not traveling, and we're not moving around, and we're not, there's no company credit card where anybody's expensing, lobster dinners. And we're not paying a shitload of people a shitload of money to do a bunch of random crap that we don't need. And none of us are taking salaries at this point, in order for us to reach those goals through a bootstrap phase. And then once the revenue hits, then we scale in the expenses as they meet our needs. So it's simply executive management that makes our overhead so low and so manageable, and then our business model so effective that we don't need that many clients in order to hit it. So I wish I could give you the exact numbers that we have in our projections, but my CFO said no.